Do you want to put 2 to 3 hours a week and make over $5,000 a month in cash, by the way? What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the first episode of unWINE with Quan. This is completely random, but on this show, I wanted to be talking about business while we unwind with some guests, with some people, and we'll be sipping wine. So tonight, I am unwinding with...
We got your boy, Deven and I, here from 780.
780, Edmonton, Alberta. How do we meet?
A long time ago when we... first job in... Was that your first job in Edmonton?
No, it wasn't my first job in Edmonton, but...
Oh, yeah, no. We met at a phone company where we used to work at.
And we've been homies since then.
Long time ago.
But straight to the business for you guys. Basically, what I want to talk to you guys about today is how you can make $5,000 or more a month working part-time flipping cars.
Flipping cars.
And I have a guest here who's done that and who's doing it. He's doing it part-time. How many hours you put in a week, do you think? Altogether?
I'd say 2 to 3 hours.
2 to 3 hours
Yes.
a week. Okay, so do you want to put 2 to 3 hours a week and make over $5,000 a month in cash, by the way, non-tax, or wait, it is tax. It is tax. And yeah, basically, just tell them a little bit of your background.
Okay.
Besides car flipping, so.
Okay, yeah. So, man, that I started really in the selling business at the phone company we were working at, actually.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's when I found out I like selling things. And then I was like, okay, kind of like this. And then I didn't like the money, though. That's the thing. So I didn't like being somebody else's employee. So I was like, okay. I quit Rogers. Oh, shit.
That's the company we were working at.
Shouldn't I have said that?
It's okay. It's all good. Yeah.
Yeah, so I quit Rogers.
Rogers.
Yeah.
I eventually quit too.
Yeah, this guy quit
continue.
too. And then I just started, nowadays everything's free on the internet. Anything you could learn about is pretty much on the internet. So I just started reading about cars and, just educating myself about cars. And after that, I was like, all right, I'm going to try this. Because my buddy was actually doing it and he was making what I wanted to make. Being self-employed basically and just having no hours and just being very flexible with his time. So I looked into flipping my first car. That didn't go so well. That didn't go so well. At first it was rocky, it was very you had to learn basically. It was a learning experience, but good thing I had someone to teach me. So basically I flipped a couple cars after I quit Rogers, but it wasn't enough. I was making a couple hundred. I was actually even losing money, so I had to go back to work. Shout out to my girl. She supported me because I was pretty broke, actually.
Shout out to Eileen.
Yeah, shout out to Eileen. I
By the way, sorry to break your story. Don't judge him.
Oh, yeah.
He has sensitive teeth.
I got sensitive teeth.
And he told me he's bringing a straw. I didn't really believe him, but man's brought a straw.
Yeah.
And
that's how we do it.
yeah, cheers your straw.
Cheers your
Don't judge him. Don't judge him. He has sensitive teeth.
Try it out.
No, don't.
Yeah. Oh, that's good.
Back to the story.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Back to the story. So, it wasn't going so well. But I kept holding on to it. I kept trying, and eventually my bank account was in the negatives. Basically, $400. I couldn't pay my bills. I was leaning on my girlfriend, and I had one more car to flip, and that ended in a negative too. So I was pretty much at the bottom right now. I was like, I gotta go back to work. So I had to go back to work, basically. I joined another cell phone company. And while I was at that cell phone company, I educated myself even more and learned more about flipping cars. And then while I was at the cell phone company, I actually was flipping cars on the side as well. So I was working full-time and flipping cars. So my hours were insane. Pretty much working all the time, just go home, sleep, and then flip cars, find cars, flip them. And then this is when I started to see uphill. Maybe about a year in, I was seeing some profit, and first it started little, like $500, and then it gained momentum as I learned more, thousands of dollars, with each car flip. So, I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna dedicate all my time to flipping cars. So I quit my job, I got a license, and then I started doing 2, 3 at a time. Max was 4, but that was just one time. And then after that, that's when the money started to come in, and like I'm very glad I stuck to it. Like I educated myself. I didn't just quit. I hit a bottom. It was really bad actually, but then I was like, I gotta try again, because my buddy who was doing it, he didn't give up either. So I was like, there has to be some way to do this. So yeah.
What changed for the viewers to understand? What did you change from like the point where you were only making like 2 to 3, couple $100?
Yes.
What did you change?
Yeah.
For you to optimize your profits, because like your profits started becoming like over 1,000, right?
Yeah.
It was only a couple hundred, but now it's like 1,000 up to $2,000, 3, like who knows, up to I'm sure it's around those margins. What did you do to really up those profit and optimize those margins? What did you do?
So
what was different?
Basically, when I went in before, when I first started, I was just looking at cars that were okay and ran good. I wasn't really looking at pricing, but I basically narrowed it down to cars that people like, and what most of my basically audience was, like my target. And basically people who get rid of cars are richer people that sell it for really cheap. So I kind of looked towards that market and bought cars off that instead of just buying random cars, and just looking at cars from everywhere else. I'd have to go to Calgary, I'd have to go to like Southside Edmonton, but like basically I had to look at who I was selling to. So basically I was selling to teenagers and people who were new to the country that couldn't afford cars that were very expensive. So I had to get like, let's for example say $1,000 car, which was worth $3,000, and sell it for $2,000, because I'd have to find the middle ground. I'd have to play with the numbers to find the middle ground, right? And I'd have to kind of estimate my profit from there. So basically, before I was just kind of winging it. I was just like, oh, this is a nice car. It'll probably sell for more. And then kind of taking my chances with it. But now I actually, after about a year, I did a lot of research into what, especially in this city, what people kind of need and buy as vehicles, you know? Yeah.
So the main thing is you figured out the demographic that you wanted to buy from. So technically, you would say a little bit more wealthier people, or people who just don't really care about the price.
Yeah.
They just want to get rid of it for like okay amount of money. So the money that they didn't care about losing goes into your pocket.
Exactly.
And then you were flipping it to people who were you flipping it to most of the time? Or just like kind of just pretty wide?
It's a wide array. A lot of students, a lot of people who just moved in the country, basically people who couldn't afford much, but can still afford, like I could still provide them with a good car, you know, because that's what people want. They don't want to spend market price or more for a vehicle. They want a deal. So I bought at a really good deal and still sold at a deal, pretty much. Like say if you buy like a clearance item that's like 80% off, then I would sell it for kind of 50% off. I would still make money. Yeah, that's kind of how it worked.
Well, what else are other optimizing areas that you do? Like like negotiation, or any cars where like it's kind of like shit, so you fix it up. You know, if you fix it up for like $200, but then it gives you an extra 500 margin, or like what are other things that you do to optimize your profits?
Yeah, so basically I had to. It also comes with the experiences, like reading a lot about mechanics. That was kind of that was the boring part. Like,
oh damn.
But it was mostly reading. Like you didn't have to do hands-on things. It was like you know, you look at the oil. Like for example, you look at like the dipsticks. You know, kind of basic things that you can just teach yourself in a week, basically. Like just what to look for. You know, just make sure it doesn't sound like shit. That's basically what it was. And if it drives smooth for me, it'll drive smooth for someone else. Like if I wanted the car, I know someone else would want the car. It was mostly playing with the price that was kind of the hardest part because it was finding the deals, basically, you know? Because honestly, in this city, there's a lot of car flippers, so you had to kind of be the first one to get the car, and you had to kind of be on your toes every time. You had to be on your phone a lot. But other than that, yeah, that's pretty much it for that.
Dope. Yeah, man, flipping cars.
Yeah.
And what would you say, what would be the biggest advice let's say somebody's watching this right now, they're like, hey, man, I know a lot about cars, or I don't know anything about cars. Let's just say they're in the middle, okay? In the middle of cars.
Yeah.
Let's say they want to start flipping cars.
Yeah.
But they don't know where to start. Where is the first place to start? And one simple advice is on top of that. So
okay, so first place to start is ask yourself and people that you know what kind of cars they would want and how much they would pay for one.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, go on selling sites and see what you can find, basically. Work on your negotiation skills, especially. Talk to a lot of people. And when you come out, it's like a business. When you talk to someone, be presentable and really, really be confident, because you can negotiate as well. And if you have better sales skills, that translates. So, I mean, it's a business. Like, that's how it is. I would say that's the first step. Just, like, finding out what people want in a car and what people would pay for a car. Like, just friends and family. Ask yourself even, like, would I pay this much for a car? Sometimes it's common sense, too.
So basically figuring out, like, profit margins before you even got it. Like, if you were to buy at this price, this is the X, how much can you really get out of this, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it includes your negotiation skills and all that down. So basically figuring out your market in your area, in your hometown.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm pretty sure every single city in the world, there's always profit to be made. There's always some sort of arbitrage, whether it's in the vehicle industry or any other industry at all. There's always, an market to be made through arbitrage, and as in buying low and selling for high, right? So let's just try to give them a step by step. So let's just say number one, go to your local. Go online to either, if you're in Canada, Kijiji. If you're in the States, go to Craigslist. Right. Go there and look for vehicles. Look for vehicles that might be sold under market value. You figure out, it's sold under market value. Then once you find it that it's under market value, you would talk to them, go check it out. Then you negotiate. You try to bring it down even more, right? Is that the next step? You bring them down a little bit even more. And then, but before you even negotiate with them, you figure out, although you're going to negotiate them, you already know what it's truly worth, right? Let's say you see a car for $3K, it's worth $4K, but you're going to negotiate down to $2,500, right? And then let's say after you get that, it's as simple as, let's just say they agreed to $2,500. They agreed for $500 less than what they listed it for. Car that's worth $4K. Now you just bought it for $2,500.
You still sell it at a deal.
Yeah,
that's what makes you the
right.
profit.
So and then all the paperwork that really needs to get done is you just exchange, do the transaction. They give you the money. You give them the money. You take the vehicle. Obviously you do the bill of sale, registration, all that stuff, and then. You flip it for a deal. Let's say the car's worth $4K, but you flip for $37.5 or $35.
Exactly.
And that's it.
That's how it works. Most pay your taxes.
He pays his taxes.
You gotta pay your taxes.
He pays Uncle Sam. So
as well as.
But in the beginning, if you don't want to pay Uncle Sam and you're doing it on the table,
it's different for a lot of cities. But for Edmonton, it's if you're making less than $40,000 a year, then you don't need a license. But when you are making that figure, that's when you need your dealer's license.
Yeah.
And
we all pay our taxes. So
gotta pay your taxes. And in between those steps is educate yourself on cars itself, like engine. That it doesn't have to be too much. You don't have to go to school. You just read up when you have the time, and then oil change, stuff like that. Just
the simple shit.
Simple stuff.
Simple stuff.
Yeah, you don't gotta be a mechanic.
And if you just get to know that stuff, honestly, even if you just put 5 hours a week into finding cars, prospecting cars, and then flipping them, putting them up, listing them and stuff like that. Even if, let's just say, if you were to even sell one car a week, right? And you say you profit about $1K each, okay, a car a week, that's $1,000 a week, working 5 hours a week.
Yeah.
Okay, most of you don't even make that. So it's just like, you know, if you're working full-time job, like minimum wage, like you wouldn't even make that much. So the truth is, man, the number one thing is just educate yourself, because that's very important.
That's very important.
You don't want the market to beat you. You want to beat the market, right? Mm-hmm. So yeah, man. Is there any other questions that I haven't asked yet, or like what else should they know? What do you think you should add on to the layer of the cake?
Stay motivated. Don't be down. You know, sometimes you might hit a loss. That happens. It happens with everything. Like you'll hit a bump for sure. Like it might.
No
be
pun
big.
intended. Because get a car.
That's suspension work.
Cheers,
But yeah.
You hit speed bumps, but don't let that slow you down.
That was good. Wow. What is this? Wow. Damn.
Hey, keep going.
Yeah, just don't let it get you down. Like you gotta keep going. That's with everything in life. You can't just fucking give up. Basically, I hit a low and then I bounce back. That's how it is. Better than ever now.
Better than ever.
Yeah. Oh, and stay away from high-end cars. Nobody buys those. Nobody buys Mercedes. Yeah. But yeah.
So arbitrage is better with just regular cars.
Yeah, regular civilian cars, because that's what everyone can afford. Majority of the population is, what is it called? Like, average income workers, right? So that's what it is.
And there's more majority than those, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, dope. Thanks for coming on the show, Deven. This was pretty random tonight. You know, we were hitting the gym earlier today. Yeah. I was like, yo, man, you got some value to talk, you know, to share with the people, and here you are. Yep. unWINE with Quan, unWINE episode 1. Mm-hmm. Just finished unWINing with Deven. What do we got today? We got Australian yellowtail Merlot.
That's
not the craziest, but it's not the craziest, but it tastes delicious. I like my Merlots. I like my Shiraz. I like my Cabernets and Malbecs. I pretty much like them all, to be honest. But other than that, yo, thanks for coming on the show, bro.
Of course, anytime.
Thanks for coming on the show. Where can they find you?
You can find me Instagram at Deven Chris, or YouTube channel. I don't know if I should plug my YouTube channel.
Plug it, bro.
Canadian Stoner.
Oh, that one?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll make it
if it changes, I'll put it in the description.
Yeah.
If it changes, I'll put it.
Yeah.
Canadian Stoner, eh?
Yeah. For now.
I'm a stoner.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, guys. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe for more, potentially more unWINE with Quans. Mm-hmm. I don't know if these things will be official, but hey, man, it was really fun doing this, and I'm sure I can take on a lot more entrepreneurs, business owners, and just creatives onto this show. It'll be amazing. If you guys enjoyed it, make sure you comment down what was your favorite part, and let us know if you're going to be flipping cars, you know?
Try it out.
Until then, we'll see you guys then. Peace.